Number 10. WingNuts capsize. The WingNuts was involved in the Chicago-Mackinac Race when a powerful storm hit it. The events occurred because of a 50-knot-plus gust storm cell. 6 crew members managed to escape after the ship capsized. However, 2 of the crew members, Suzanne Makowski-Bickel and skipper Mark Morley, died in the accident. The pair suffered blunt force trauma to the head, and a secondary cause of death was drowning. The survivors managed to draw the attention of 20 other boats with whistles and signal lights. The Sociable, a racing boat, circled the WingNuts and pulled the 6 crew members to safety. The Coast Guards also brought out helicopters to search for the drowned too. Lake Michigan was not new to races, and neither was the WingNuts. The vessel had a reputation for beating the lake's rough weather, so this accident was unprecedented. Number 9. Rambler 100 capsize. A former speedboat, the Rambler 100, endured an accident that lasted for hours. The Rambler 100 is a 100-foot Grand Prix ocean racer, known for its speeding skills and technique. The accident happened within 15 minutes of the canting keel coming off. The vessel inverted and capsized with 21 crew members on board. While some of the crew wore appropriate clothing, the majority did not. When the accident happened, some of the crew members climbed on the bottom of the boat. Those who could not scramble out, and 5 of the crew members were thrown into the water and were made to drift for several hours. The vessel did not have a VHF radio, personal locator beacons, or EPIRB in the cockpit. They were stored below, and those parts were unreachable. The survivors were noticed 3 hours later. The crew expressed that they could have been lost if the accident had happened at night or far from the Fastnet Rock. Number 8. 420 dinghy capsize. The June 23 accident saw a Club 420 running under a spinnaker and accidentally capsizing and turning turtle. Then 14-year-old crew member Olivia Constance started telling her skipper that she was tangled. The entanglement was an awkward trapeze wire hooked to her harness. The instructors and skippers could not disconnect it. The crew was quick to communicate and receive help, but despite the CPR administration, Olivia drowned. While the crew did not realize this, even the smallest amount of water in your mouth could quickly cause drowning while you're still on the surface of the water. The rescue should be prompt, and remember that each second counts. Safety clothing, including a life jacket, is essential for rapid accidents like this. Number 7. Sydney to Hobart Yacht Race. The Sydney to Hobart Yacht Race is an annual sailing contest that saw a deadly accident in 1998. Sailors from Britain, Tasmania, and New South Wales drowned due to a cell storm cutting through the fleet. In total, 7 yachts were abandoned at sea. There were 12 yachts impacted by the cell, and it took 30 military and civil aircraft to complete the rescue mission for 55 sailors. Out of 115 yachts that started the race, only 44 completed it. Many abandoned the race and took refuge in Eden along the New South Wales coast. The event, which happened at the Bass Strait in Victoria, cost so much money to fix. These sunken vessels, rescue bill, and damaged equipment were estimated at $30 million. Number 6. Croatia motor yacht. The sad news of 2 Italian sailors' deaths was announced in 2011. These sailors were both 60-year-olds from Padua, and their bodies were only recovered 4 hours after the accident. Their 13-meter sailing boat was hit by a 13-meter motor yacht, which threw them into the water around Maslinovic, off the Primostin on the central Dalmatian coast of Croatia. The whole yacht was dismasted. The Ministry of Sea, Transport and Infrastructure set up a commission of inquiry into the circumstances around the fatal accident. Tomislav Horvatinčić, who was driving the motor yacht that killed them, was arrested and expressed shock and regret at the accident. He explained that his steering system failed him and prevented him from avoiding the sailing boat. The commission found that Horvatinčić was steering the yacht at 20 knots when the speed limit in that area was 5 knots. He escaped unharmed together with his companion, but was sentenced to 58 months in jail. Number 5. Sarasota sailing tragedy. A boat struck 3 young sailors in Florida during their Sarasota Youth Sailing Club practice. Baugh was riding his vessel and helping another young sailor. While this was something only a skilled professional should do, Baugh did it impressively for a while until he lost his footing and fell, putting the vessel in gear. He was thrown from the boat and it continued without a captain. He managed to regain control, but that was after his powerboat had stroked several vessels in the SYS Green Fleet practice, causing injuries and damage. 2 children had minor injuries, but Isaac, a 10-year-old boy, died from his injuries when Baugh hit his yacht. Number 4. Wellington-Lyttelton Yacht Race. There were 20 yachts contested in this race. The race would take anywhere between 2 to 5 days to complete. Many yachts were disqualified for using their engines in the southerly storm, and the others withdrew. In the end, Tahiri was the only vessel to complete the race. Other ships got lost or damaged in the storm. One of the vessels, Astral, wholly damaged and was abandoned. When the storm cleared, the rescue team and relatives of the missing crew members launched several searches with no positive results. A commission of inquiry established that 2 ships collided with other vessels early in the storm, which caused them to be wrecked. This 1951 tragedy is still remembered across New Zealand, and the recommendation of the magisterial inquiry remains the guideline for ocean yacht races. Number 3. New Zealand collision. A freighter ship tore into a 47-foot yacht carrying a family of 4. The ship, Melinda Lee, carried a Santa Clarita family who dreamed of sailing together for years. The family's 9-year-old son and mother went down, but their 7-year-old daughter disappeared into blackness. The father dove into the blackness to look for her and disappeared. The mother was found 62 hours after the collision when she was washed ashore onto the New Zealand North Island. The family was never seen again. Number 2. VENDEE Globe Glory Story. Alex Thompson finishing second in the VENDEE Globe seems like a reasonable effort until you realize that he might have gone through the worst times of his life. During the contest, he discovered something that should shake anyone who has the tiniest idea of vessels and how they operate. On a routine inspection, Alex Thompson, sailing solos, found structural damage to the central longitude up forward that had broken in multiple places. Alex had to drop sail and head west quickly. He contacted his team and they came up with a recovery plan. The repairs took 2 days and Alex himself was knee-deep in the handiwork. This could have gone terribly wrong if it was not discovered early like it was. Number 1. San Francisco Tragedy. The San Francisco sailing community has a century-old tradition called the Full Crew Farallones Race. The race is for the most skilled sailors and a chance for their fans to witness excellence. The winds are expected at 10 to 20 knots, contributing to the 14-foot ocean swells. The yachts and their crew are aware of these rough conditions, and they still sign up. In April 2012, with 49 race yachts involved, a series of powerful waves spelled doom for the community. The 38-foot low-speed chase involved was the first fatality recorded in the race's history. Halfway through the race, 1 crew member died and 4 went missing at sea when strong waves swept them at the Farallon Islands. 3 survivors, including the captain, were rescued 300 feet away from the damaged vessel. Would you still like to go sailing after all these horror stories?